what impact does climate change have on kind of these global systems?
So that's another thing that we talked about. And back in 11, there was still this huge debate over, is it real? Is it man-made? And I think I was pretty definitive from the work on my book that not only is it man-made, we've created a perfect firestorm for ourselves. And in Breaking the Code of History, I talked about the evidence of the 8,000-year ice cores and sinusoidal change between temperature and carbon dioxide, and the fact that it correlates with lead lags. And there we are now at 412 ppm plus. And the correlation there in terms of temperature change is that's 11 degrees if we just didn't put any more in right now. So we're really in trouble. And what happened in that delay when people said, oh, the temperature hasn't gone up, is a bit like I put my large heavy frying pan on the cooker. And for about 5 minutes, I can keep putting my finger on the top of it and not burn itself as the heat is absorbed by the heavy pan and the underside. And then suddenly it reaches critical temperature and the top is hot and the whole pan starts to operate. We've been going through the hiatus of the oceans and the heat sinks absorbing that heat change. The exterior signs of average wave height, which is an energy function putting into the seas, and also the intensity of our weather systems suggests that that energy is higher than ever before as it tries to get in the interface. So I believe it is a huge problem, so big that we really haven't got our heads around it. On a scale of problems, we could kill ourselves first in World War III before it really happens. But at the same time, the effects of climate change are going to make the friction coefficients leading up to that conflict even more. Water problems, food problems, sea level problems, we know for cities like London and New York who are very close to the water. Things that cost money and divert funds from an arms race and from the parity of a system are just going to make everything so much harder.
Okay, but is there an opportunity for technology to save us, whether it's vertical farms, cultured meat?
Okay, so I am a huge advocate of a group in the States called Clean Energy Systems. They came out of NASA and they create power and they create clean power and they sequester the carbon dioxide. Now, it's a step whereby you're taking carbon dioxide from trees and you put it back into depleted oil fields and you get carbon credits. But it's the beginning of the idea of taking it out and putting it in the ground. And we have got to do that on a massive scale. It's not just good enough to stop emitting carbon right now today. We have got to get it out. And that includes the methane. Otherwise, I do not believe that we're survivable. And it's not in 100 years. It's not in 50 years. It's in a couple of decades. The true ramifications are going to be all around us.